Sup? It's Gregatron. How are y'all? I hope everybody's doing good. Man, this camera. So, Jesse Lee Peterson had a biblical question. What are the false needs in your life? I thought that was a pretty good one. I figured I'd do a video on it. So, in the practical sense, I would say the false needs would be everything that's not essential to living. All I need in the practical sense is food, water, and shelter. In the physical sense, right? And even as far as shelter goes, do you really need shelter like the caveman used to survive? He has shelter to an extent, like caves and whatnot. But really, all you need to live is food and water. Heck, there's homeless people who ain't got no shelter and they're still living. But let's just make shelter the third one because it's practical. So, food, water, and shelter is all I need. So, the false needs, I would say, is all the mess outside of that, like alcohol. And I'll just talk about me in particular. I'm not going to generalize everybody because everybody is into different stuff. So I'd say like alcohol is a false need, relationships, pornography, just, women, all the distractions, TV, video games, stuff like that. Stuff that you can do without. Now, I'd say I don't even need to go to the gym. It's good to go to the gym. It's a good thing to be healthy and whatnot. But I don't really need it per se. So that's the physical realm, the practical aspect of it. Where I say the spiritual aspect, man, it's such a good question. Because when I first heard it, it just sounded like an okay question. But as the week goes on, the question gets deeper and deeper, especially when you hear from other people. But let's go back to the question itself. What are the false needs in your life? So I'd say in the spiritual sense, you don't need anger. You don't need it. You don't need to be emotional, period. And to have emotions and to be emotional, in my opinion, is two different things. I believe 99% of people have emotions. But the problem is when you're emotional, meaning that's when your emotions control you and they dictate what you do and what you don't do. So, to be emotional, I would say, is a false need. Because for one who wants to be emotional, nobody wants to be emotional. Even the emotional people don't want to be emotional. So if they don't want to be emotional, then that has to be a false need. And that's the spiritual realm as far as the like alcohol and cigarettes and that sort of thing, the physical. So I kind of believe there's like two different answers to this question. The physical things you don't need and the spiritual things you don't need. But I talked about emotions, anger being the big one. I would even take it a step further. Let's start over. What are the false needs in your life? Let's get deep real quick and simple at the same time. You got pride, sloth, gluttony, envy, wrath. What am I missing? There's 7 of them. Greed and envy. Is that all 7 of them? Yeah. Those things, you don't need that in your life. I had a buddy I went to high school with. He used to say that you don't need that in your life. You don't need that in your life. So yeah, good question. Have a good weekend.